Okay, let's remember our audience behavior. We are going to give Sean our attention at this time. Take it away, Sean.
Hey, I'm Sean, and my IP is on the programming of Lego robots. And to start out, I need to explain this thing. It's called a NXT, that's its starting noise. It's pretty much the brain of a computer, or a mini computer, brain of a robot. It can store many, many programs and run many different kinds of files and different forms of operations. And as you see in an actual robot, it is kind of at the heart, connected with all these boards and gizmos, which I'll explain this later. But to start out, I would like to explain the simplest of movements in the program, which is the move block. And this screen you're seeing here is a blank slate. You can create any form of program you want on it. And to start out, what you use for the move block is you click these gears that say move when you put on it, and drag it down here. And in a second now, it will show you. Yeah. Here are all what's called parameters or conditions. Now, it may look very complicated, but I'll explain it in a moment. It'll seem very simple for you. Now, to start out, these top icons over here, they say A, B, and C. Currently, it's labeled B and C. And what that means is, at the top here, these three holes are where the motor is going to be attached. You don't attach it directly, you have to use cords. So currently, it's in B and C. That means this action will be controlling motor B, the motor coming out of the extension B, and motor C, motor coming out of extension C. So I'll put this wire in C, and then what you would do is connect it to a motor. I'll pass this around, please be very careful, it's very delicate and expensive. So that is the technically where it is. Down here is very simple. You want your robot going forwards or backwards. Very simple. Below it is kind of, do you want your robot to turn a little bit or go very straight? Currently we have it going straight, which is what I like, because there's other ways of turning more simpler. Over here, right here, is speed. Currently it's at 75% speed, which is about this fast. 100% speed is about this fast, and 0% is this fast. Very slow. I prefer 50% because with these robots, they are kind of clanky and unstable, as you see. If you go too fast, it kind of jitters and goes off course, sometimes even falls apart. So that is the speed, and below it is the really important part of the move block. How far do you want to move? Currently we have it at 1 rotation, and a rotation is a spin of a wheel. So pretty much how far it would go at 1 spin of a wheel. But you can also have it be degrees, like how many degrees you want the wheel to turn. Seconds, like how long you want to go forward. Say 5 seconds, it'll drive forward for 5 seconds, or unlimited, which means don't stop driving. So we currently have it for 1 rotation. Let's say you want to change it, you put your little thing there, delete that, and type in how many you want. Let's say we want 5. Type in 5. Down here, the last thing is there's brake and coast. What that means is it's on brake. So what that means is when it stops, it will just stop. But when it coasts, that means when it won't just stop, it'll slowly come to a halt. So that's pretty much the move block. Next thing I want to show you are the sensors. The most simplest one is touch sensor. And touch sensors look like this. I'll pass this around again. It has a little button. Touch sensors are useful for go forward until you hit a wall, and then do something else. Now, it's a little less complicated. This just says it's a sensor. This says what kind of sensor, like touch sensor, but there are many more. And over here is which little port it will be plugged into. Only for touch sensors, it's on the bottom. So we currently have it in port 1. So we plug it into the port with a little 1 on it. Down here is the most important part. What do you want to do? Now there's 3 options: pressed, released, or bumped. We have it set on press, which means the little button will go in. Released means the little button goes out. And bumped means it goes in and out. So currently what we're saying is, let me just change this to unlimited. There, now it's working. We will drive, we're going to drive unlimited, but when it gets pressed, it'll do the next thing, which would be like turn around and do some flips, something like that. Now some other sensors, which are more complicated, are, first one I'll show you is the light sensor. Now the light sensor works the same way. It says it's a sensor, and it says it's a light sensor. It's currently plugged into port 3, so we move to port 3. And we can't pass this one out yet because I need to show you something. And now we, again, have the most important part. To start using the light sensor, you first have to prime it, which pretty much means you go to your robot, scroll right about 2 clicks until you get to this little thing called view, which looks like this. Press the orange button, which means enter, or OK. And then you go left until you reach a little lit up light bulb. When you reach the light bulb, what you do is press enter, select which port it will be in. Ours is in port 3, so we go over to port 3, press enter, and then we hold it about an inch away from the lightest surface lever, or lightest color lever encountered, which in this case is white. This is white on the field. And once it gives us the estimate, which it says is about 75% light, we go to the dark light bulb. We press enter. Go to, once again, port 3, enter, and we fold it over the darkest thing it'll ever encounter, which in this case is the color black. And once we're done with that, we can go back, because we learned that white is 75% and black is 15%. Now I can pass this around. So then when we get here, what it's doing is drive unlimited, but when it gets to, down here we see a mass sign greater than 50%, or once it gets to white, it will do the next one. So there are 2 more sensors I want to show you. They are called ultrasonic and sound. Now first I want to show you sound actually. Let's take a look. Sound sensor is useful for, oh wait, let me back up. The light sensor is useful for, like, let's say as you see on this field, there are black lines. Light sensor is good for, like, saying follow the black line, or follow anything that is not a black line. Now the sound sensor, which looks like a little microphone, is useful for, like, well, it's not really useful, but what you can use it for is saying, like, go when I clap, or go when you hear a whistle. And what you do is you have to prime it again. So what you do is you hook it up. Instead of going to the light bulb, you go to the little speakerphone. And then you do the loudest sound it'll ever hear, like yell into it, like ah! And the quietest sound it'll ever hear, like go like a little whisper into it. And then it'll tell you what percentages of sound those are. And then you can do greater than. You can also switch the greater than to less than. And you can choose what percentage of sound. Now the last one, which people tell me is the coolest looking, ultrasonic sensor. Pass this around. Ultrasonic sensor looks like eyes, as you see. And it uses echolocation, so it can sense distances. Again, this has to be primed, so what you do is, well, one is mainly useful for fields like this. To prime it, you put it the farthest away it'll ever be, like at this wall, so it's looking at this wall. Oh, by the way, there are deep walls on this. And the closest it'll ever be, which is like a millimeter away. Once again, there's greater than, less than, and it tells you the percentages.